And this next one, we got a really good fight. We got Diego Ferreira taking on Mateusz Rebecki. And Carlos Diego Ferreira, he has been in UFC for over a decade. He has a really, really good resume of fighters that he's fought. He's beaten some really good guys, but 39 years old at this point. He's had some issues making weight in previous fights. And he's even had, fights like versus Gamrot where he's had to stop the fight due to injuries. So I feel like he is taking a little bit of wear and tear, and we're going to see how many more fights he has in him. But he's a gangster, man. He takes any fight that the UFC gives him, and he's taking on a really high-level guy coming up in the rankings in Mateusz Rebecki. Rebecki undefeated in the UFC. He's 3-0, but he hasn't really fought great opponents. This is definitely a step up in competition, but you look at his opponents outside the UFC, he's fought some good guys. He's fought some guys that have become KSW world champions and other fairly high-level opponents. So he's not someone that is going to be out of his depth fighting a guy like CDF. And I think for Mateusz Rebecki, he could make this fight pretty easy if he uses his pressure striking, his boxing, his head movement, gets on the inside, slips and rips on him, puts that pressure on him, puts that pace on him, and avoids wrestling and using his wrestling grappling that he likes to do. I think that would be the best path to victory for him, because I feel like CDF is not the greatest striker. Even though he got that knockout win over Michael Johnson, he was getting beat up pretty much that whole fight, and his speed has diminished quite a bit. He isn't as good fighting off the back foot as he is when he comes forward. And I think that if Rebecki can pressure him, he's going to take away that front kick to the body that CDF likes. He's going to take away the leg kicks that CDF likes. And I feel like he's going to have the better boxing, faster hands, go to the body, where CDF sometimes can be a little bit weak to the body. But if he mixes in that takedown and gets on CDF's guard or creates a scramble, then CDF is one of the better grapplers in that weight class, and I definitely think it could get interesting. And if CDF could push the pace with the grappling, maybe they'll both get tired. It could make the striking a lot closer. So I think if Mateusz is smart, he's just going to keep this one standing, pressure, win with the boxing, and I'm going to predict him to do that and win this one via decision. But could get interesting if he goes back and makes it more of a wrestling match. But I think that Mateusz